think we're on video 5. I think it's 5. The girl was sick last week. I'm still a little congested, so forgive me. But yeah, we're gonna make it work. We're in my closet. This is my closet, of course. I know everyone loves the color wall whenever I'm in here. I always post that wall. Here's like the corner over there, just some of my favorite shoes, and then my summer bins that I'm about to switch out because the weather here in Nashville is getting to be so gorgeous right now. So I'm really excited about that. And I figured we could sit in here because I love it in here, and also because Justin's home and I normally don't record when he is home. But he's home, which means he's probably screaming at PS5. So hopefully you guys don't have to hear that today. So today's video, I promised on Insta that I would talk about dating as a single mom, dating as a, I guess you could call it a relocatee. I'm not quite sure how you would refer to it. I do have Simba in here with me, so you can probably hear him breathing too. But just dating period, I guess you can say, like, as someone who's been single for quite a bit of time, and like what that experience has been like for me. And I did put up a poll and ask everybody if you wanted to submit any questions from my Insta, and some of the things I'm probably gonna omit because just like with anything else, you want to be respectful of other people when you're telling your side of the story. And even though I can be social at times, my boyfriend is not the most social. So social media is social, I'll say that way. So I really want to respect him and his portion in this relationship too. So I won't overly share. I probably will even send it to him before posting so we can make sure like we're on the same page. So yeah, so everyone's number one question was, how long have we been dating? And I would say it's longer. Would you say a couple months or a few months, whichever? Few months. Everyone wants to know, where did we meet? I said this on my Insta. We met actually through work. So he was a vendor partner with me that I worked with for the past 2 years. So we had known each other for 2 years, and finally one day he had said, he's like, whenever I want to take you on a date or date you, he was like, you'll know, like for sure, you won't have to question, you won't have to guess, like you'll know. And he was right. And I think it just goes back to, when you allow a man to pursue, he will pursue. Like, we don't have to take that away from them. And you can just show up gently and allow them to be the one who's the hunter. So that's how we started dating. Is he decided to ask me on a first date. Up until this point, I would say we have been the most platonic friends. Like, we have not hugged, kissed, nothing. Kept it super professional, and definitely was always attracted to him. He is incredibly handsome. But yeah, so that's kind of how we met, how we started dating, I guess you can say, how long we've been dating, all in the same like synopsis. So I did put your questions in my other phone so that way I can make sure I stay on track. Have I dated other people here? Yes. So yes, I've dated other people here. I've probably gone out on 4 dates, maybe. I want to say 4 dates. Not total, but like dated a couple different people. And normally I do not date past like 1 or 2 dates at maximum. I'm gonna be incredibly honest. I don't like to waste my time. If it is not a good fit, I don't like to waste their time either. I truly believe that if you're dating someone, especially when they're paying, like if a man goes on 10 first dates in 1 year, that's $1,000 if you spend $100 a pop, and that's on the cheaper side. Nowadays, I feel like that's just not fair. If you're not interested, don't waste someone's time. Allow them to find their person. And I truly think that that's fair. If you are not interested, you shouldn't waste their time. You should let them know up front and give them the opportunity to go be with someone who wants to be with them. So I have always taken that very seriously, which is why I don't even date often. I did date someone when I first moved here, that first year, going into the fall of 2021. We went out for a couple of months, and then it just didn't work out. We just didn't align on some things. And then I went on a couple of dates throughout the year of 2022. Actually, it's not funny, but like one of my worst dates was during 2022. I went out on a first date with a guy and it wasn't a good fit. I just knew it wasn't a good fit. And then we went out on a second date. No, by the second date, I knew it wasn't a good fit. So he's telling me the story, and I asked him about, where did you used to work, or what'd you do at work? And he was telling me the story just about his work ethic and his work habits, and I was like, this is not a good fit. It actually says a lot about someone's personality just in how they work. If they're organized, that also says a lot. Their discipline and just their character traits you want to pay attention to, especially as a single mom. And for me, a single mom of a son, I know that this is someone who's going to be in Justin's life every day. He's not gonna be Justin's dad, because his dad is incredibly active, but he is gonna be a mentor to Justin, and I wanted someone that Justin can learn from and grow from. And I think when I put that top of mind as one of my values that was incredibly important to me, it just kind of weeded out a lot of people. Like, even just via conversation, I would be like, this is not a good fit. So it's no point in like wasting their time or wasting my time, because it's just not a good fit. So with that being said, once I saw like his habits and who he was and just his discipline and his character, I was like, this is not someone I can see myself being aligned with. And it just faded pretty fast. The dating story I'll probably save for another day, because it was awful. I'm not even gonna lie. It was definitely awful, and yeah, just not someone I could see myself being aligned with. So yes, I have dated here. It has not been a good fit up until this point. I've gone on a couple of other dates where like they were nice, but it just wasn't a good fit for me. So yes, I have dated other people. I guess that would also answer worst or best date since moving here. I mean, again, like you can't share but so much about a worst date experience without really putting someone else and why it was awful out there. And I think some things are just better left unsaid. It's just not a good first date experience for me, and it just wasn't a good fit, and moving on. I hope he finds his person. Dating advice for single moms or singles. I think you need to just stay true to your values, but also leave room for change. Like, leave room to change your mind, I guess I would say. My hair is really dry today. Leave room to change your mind. Leave room for possibility to be different. Leave room to look at things in another light or in another way, and just be open to learning someone. I think that's the part of dating, is it's new, and while it is exciting, you have values that you want to hold on to and that are important to you, but you still need to honor someone else's values and allow them to show up as their best self. And what does that look like for you? How can you continue to shine your bright light in who you are and allow them to show up and do the same? So I think that's important. And yeah, just be open to new experiences, looking at things differently. And a lot of things, my boyfriend and I are very different. We, have different experiences to grow from and to glean from. But that's what's so cool, is like the exposure that he gives me to learning things in a different way or in a different light, or seeing something differently than how I would have seen it prior to being with him. I am incredibly grateful for, and I think when you move with a grateful heart, it just changes things. So honestly, if I could say anything, it would be to just be open, have your things in your list. Someone else did ask, did I have a list? I did have things that I prayed for, and I'll get to that question in a minute, but yeah, just be open to being flexible and seeing things differently and change. I think that's really important. Have your list of non-negotiables and things that are important to you, and, you know, values that you want someone to align with. My favorite thing about my boyfriend, oh my gosh, my favorite thing about him, quite a few favorite things. First of all, he's incredibly handsome, so I am very blessed. Not that that's the most important thing at all, but he's very handsome, and yeah. Then I would probably say he is very driven, very motivated, which I love. Being someone who's also driven and motivated, that ranks very high on my list. He's incredibly disciplined, and he even reminds me to be disciplined. And so it's really important to have someone who wants to make sure that you're better. And I think that it's great to show up, to allow someone the space to like push you and encourage you to be better. Even with YouTube, he's like, did you make your YouTube video yet? When are you making your next video? When are you posting? And so just that encouragement, I'm really grateful to have. And he's a phenomenal father. I think he's just such an incredible dad, and watching him be a dad to his son is just, it's such a blessing to see firsthand. So he has a lot of great qualities, but those are probably like the top three that I enjoy right now. Let's see, what's next? Oh, scariest thing about dating. I would say the risk involved of if it doesn't work out. You don't know what you don't know. That's the whole process of dating, but people put so much pressure on you to get it right and to choose your person. And what does that look like for you? And it's like the pressure is like consuming. So for me, I just think right now, both of us are just really enjoying the process of like showing up peacefully in love, and just being kind to one another, just having an attitude of gratitude for the space that we get to be in with one another is really important as well. And what does that look like for you? Are you allowing someone to be peaceful in your life? Are you showing up in a place of peace? Because a lot of people are at war with themselves, and you can't fight through that. Once you do your own self-discovery and have your own self-awareness, you will recognize those qualities in someone else, and you will just bow out gracefully. But how can you recognize those things about yourself and put in that self-work and make sure you're trying every day to be a better person? And what does that look like for you? The work is ugly. It's ugly, I will say. If you really are trying to do your best and you're trying to be your best, you're trying to show up as your best version of yourself every single day. And there's some days when, you know, you're not showing up as the best version of yourself. Some days you feel like crap, and that's okay too. But yeah, I think that's just a part of learning and the part of taking a risk of dating someone and what that looks like for you. And it will change. Things will change. But just know that you have good intentions. I think that's important. So yeah, it is scary if things don't work out, but it's also brave to move with the intentions of, gosh, what if they do? Like, how exciting if they do work out? Like, what does that look like? What does that experience look like for me? How happy and how much joy does that bring me to be a part of something that could be really beautiful? So that's a thought too. Preparing myself for dating, like what did I do prior to dating? I kind of just made mention, like, you got to do some soul work. And sometimes it's ugly and you're getting beat up, and whether that be therapy or meditation, however you are going to sit with yourself and the ugliest parts of you and what that looks like, and try to work through healing those things. It's not easy. And I would say that there's times when things happen in our relationship, and I'm really grateful that I did the work and I put in the work prior to being here. And I hope that that allows me to show up from a place of peace with my person, and that he gets to enjoy that hard work that I put in prior to us dating. So yeah. Next question was, oh, did I have a prayer prior to dating my boyfriend? Was it like a prayer list for boyfriend or husband? I do have a prayer list, which I was going to share like 5 things from. This I did May 23rd in 2018. So this list is mad old. But these values stay true about who the person is that I wanted to be with, and what attributes I wanted them to have, and what did that look like for me that might be different for you. And so I'll share the things that were on my list, or maybe like the top 5 things, and maybe they might be some things for you. So really wanted a man who was a man of faith, someone who has commitment to their family and family values, someone who is a leader of the household, someone who's an excellent communicator, someone who would be my best friend, someone who's ambitious with the ability to work smart. Oh my gosh, that's something else that I really love about my boyfriend. I love that, like, when I mentioned something, like one time I said, I was like, oh, the light over the stove isn't working, and it was like, boom, the next time I was over, he had already fixed it. There was like a fuse that was broken in my car that I didn't even know was broken, and I went to like go plug in the charger and it wasn't working. And like one day he was like, oh, I'll be back, and he was going to Advanced Auto Parts, and then like when he came back, he like fixed the fuse. Like, he just works really smart, and he fixes things when he says he's gonna do them, and that's such an admirable quality, and I absolutely love that about him. That he would be someone who is faithful, someone who is confident, a man of integrity, and he was someone who's quick to pray and slow to judge. So I know that was like more than 5 things, but that was on my list of what I prayed for and what I wanted in my person and what I wanted the experience to be like for me. And then also someone was asking, how can you stay faithful when you just aren't finding your person? I think that that's just part of life. That's just part of the experience. That's just part of dating, is you are gonna have to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince. And not necessarily that you're kissing the frogs, but at the same time, that is just not working. Like, and for me, I'm able to assess fairly quickly, like 1 to 2 dates, I'm like, this is not my person. I'm not wasting your time. You're not wasting mine. And I'm so grateful that I didn't waste anyone's time, and I didn't have any like lingering people around when it came time for my boyfriend and I to start dating, because that just creates unnecessary drama, and I wasn't interested in being in like a triangle like that. And I'm really grateful. The same for him, like the experience is the same. So yeah, I think you just have to work on yourself. You really have to work on yourself and just love yourself through the process, get to know yourself, find things that you enjoy. What do you enjoy doing? I know for me, particularly when I'm going through a quiet season where I feel like things aren't happening for me in the timeline that I would like, I really get quiet and get close to God and just try to understand, what is he teaching me in this season? What lesson am I supposed to be learning? And what am I missing? So that's an opportunity for you to just work on being faithful, work on yourself, be gentle with yourself. When it's time, it'll be time. And it's still, you never know if it's going to work, if it's not going to work, but it's worth putting in the self-work to be at a place where you're at peace and you can be happy with yourself first. And I think that's just such an incredible experience. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I got a chance to answer some of your questions. And of course, you can always leave me more if you want to, or drop them in my DMs, and I will answer as best as possible. Peace.